This month on BSTV International, we take a look at summer hair care, get stuck into sugaring, visit an Against Animal Testing conference with the Body Shop USA, and find out all about the Body Shop's internet site. But first, here's the news.
The Body Shop Denmark was in attendance for the occasion of the 25th anniversary of one of Northern Europe's largest rock festivals at Roskilde. Headlining the event were such well-known artists as Bob Dylan, Sinead O'Connor, The Cure and R.E.M. Almost alone amongst international companies represented, the PR opportunities were unparalleled, with 90,000 people in attendance from not only Denmark, but also Belgium, Holland, Britain, France and Germany. As the only company to have a stall at the event selling skin and hair care, the Body Shop's presence was particularly appreciated as a source of sun care, with the watermelon range selling like hotcakes. The eye-catching face and body painting also proved popular and stimulated welcome press coverage. The long day's hard work was judged well worthwhile, if only for the opportunity to raise the corporate profile, both in Denmark and at an international level. The Body Shop Vision 2000 Leadership Workshop in Hong Kong was organised over 3 days in June. The main objective was to develop the management skills of the staff and to establish a mission statement for the Body Shop Hong Kong and Macau. All the participants had to visualise where the Body Shop Hong Kong and Macau is going to be in the year 2000 and set up their goals and directions. The first day involved the staff in a series of vision plays. The second was used to formulate the mission statement, and the last day was devoted to creating an action plan. The workshop was attended by all the shop managers and senior managers from both the office and warehouse. The overall response was that it had been a most rewarding and instructive 3 days. This month saw the Body Shop head franchisees' biannual meeting at the International Product Show in London. They listened to a speech from Gordon, caught up with old friends, talked shop, and most importantly of all, had a good look at the new products to be launched internationally in the coming months. We asked some of them what they thought of the show.
What I'd like to gain from the next 2 days is to change ideas with other markets, with other retailers.
I'm very, very encouraged, and particularly with Gordon's comments earlier on, where it's very much clearly seen that the future is about a partnership, essentially.
Well, I think there is an exchange of ideas between BSI and the head franchisees and the rest of the team, which I think is very important, because this should be a road with two ways.
The most important thing is there's a huge focus on awareness in terms of each individual market and being very, very professional in our response.
What had excited them most on the product front?
Tea tree range has been fantastic.
Well, I find the tea tree range, very exciting.
Well, I'm really positive about the new products which are going to come out in '95, which is the hair range.
I think hairstyling and hair in general will do very well in Finland, because at the moment it's 9.5% of our business, and with the new styling products especially, I think we will increase that a lot.
Well, strawberry body wash has been selling well. We've just launched it in our market. But definitely we needed it. We need something new. We need something with a new packaging, something exciting, something fruity, and it's also highlighting the rest of the range.
I just love coming to these meetings to meet old friends and have a good talk.
This month, we have a good look at hair. Here's Ros Broughtflower with some tips on summer hair care.
Summer is the worst time for hair care. Whilst we enjoy ourselves, we put our hair through hell. Sun, salt water, chlorine and excess washing, allied to the usual abuses of styling and chemical treatment. The list is endless. Now more than ever, we've got great advice and great products that we can actively recommend to customers to get their hair in better shape. These are just two of the recommendations. Firstly, to get the hair in top condition before we subject it to any of the above excesses. 1. Make sure you get hair cut regularly to get rid of the dry ends. Secondly, use the new deep conditioning hair treatment before and after the summer. And thirdly, encourage customers to trade up the conditioning level of their normal shampoo. This ensures that the hair gets more moisture and doesn't dry out as quickly. So for example, if they use Grapefruit Frequent Wash shampoo, trade them up to Seaweed and Birch. And if they already use Seaweed and Birch, trade them up to Jojoba. Secondly, ensure the hair is protected. The best protection is either wearing a hat or a scarf, and this ensures that both the hair and the scalp are protected and covered. When swimming, try not to go under the water, or if you have to, wear a cap and always make sure you rinse either the salt or the chlorine out of the hair. Also, use Define and No Frizz hair cream. Its natural rice bran sunscreen will ensure that the hair is protected. Comb through the hair for best protection. Make sure that you offer the best advice to our customers. It will help ensure that they understand us to believe what we're talking about and come to us for credible advice and effective products.
We've also asked Roz to run through some of the questions that customers most often ask about the hair range.
One of the most common questions was what was the difference between Define and No Frizz and Coconut Oil Hair Shine. Well, Define and No Frizz, although rich, is a light, non-oily cream that's used to tame hair, define curls and smooth down flyaway ends. It can be used on wet or dry hair and is extremely good styling condition product for dry hair. Coconut Oil Hair Shine is a much richer and oilier product and is used on the hair to coat it and give it shine. It's really only suitable for short, very dry or Afro-Caribbean hair, or else it will give an oily, slick-back look. If used on the wrong hair type, it can create a greasy hair look and can overload the hair. It's great to use on dry hair and is an extremely good shine condition product. Another popular question was, does Define and No Frizz cream contain an SPF level? There's no valid test at the moment to actually show an SPF level on hair. However, we can say that the product does contain a sunscreen which is naturally derived from rice bran oil, so that where the product is on the hair, it will block out damaging effects from UV rays which stop the hair from drying out. A third question was, can styling spray be used as a setting lotion for older customers or used to set bendy rollers? Yes, if applied to the hair before the rollers are put in, then it will be great to help set the style. One question that we get asked is, why does the styling mousse bottle look half full? Well, as the mousse is non-aerosol, we need to allow sufficient space for us to pump in air so that the liquid is turned into a creamy mousse. We do have 100 ml of product in there, but as I say, you need to allow sufficient space in there to actually pump in the air. Most aerosol cans are only between 40 and 50% full, with the rest of the space being taken up by the gas propellant. It's just that not many customers can see that, so it's hard to compare our product to theirs. Don't forget, when the customer comes to the till point, remind them not to tip or shake the can, because if they do, they'll get unpressurised liquid, which will just come out as a watery mousse.
Keep watching for Cliff's tips on hair promotions.
Hair. There are many different types and styles on the planet. Long, short, dark, light, straight, curly, thick and fine. The new hair range hopes to cater for all these diverse styles, and this is the message that you're going to have to communicate to your customers now. As usual, in-store activities provide you with the perfect opportunity to have some fun with your customers. So let's look at just one idea. Arrange for staff to adopt some unconventional hairstyles on the day of the launch. This is an idea that can also be rolled out to customers. Let them know that if they arrive at a pre-arranged time with some bizarre hairstyle, then they'll be entitled to a discount on the hair range. Do have a camera ready though, because this will provide you with a perfect photo opportunity with which to sell in to the media. This idea was exploited in the UK, where a competition was arranged for staff. It acted as an incentive. Staff were asked to use their imagination and the hair range products to come up with some weird, some wonderful, and some totally outrageous hairstyles. The competition was an enormous success, and entries flooded in. £250 was given to the winning entry, which was called Mermaid, but 4 other entries were deemed so good that they too got prizes. Now the models which they used were staff. but they could have been customers. In fact, why not think about putting together your entry on the shop floor with one of the customers? This is a great idea. Do try it out. Plenty to think about. And remember, if you do get up to any of these ideas, please contact us. We want to know about your successes. So long.
Here's Daniel Gleed to tell us about sugaring.
For hundreds of years, people have made use of the sticky nature of sugar to remove unwanted body hair. The Body Shop has developed its own version, sugaring. Sugaring has been available to the UK market. After several trials, we are now confident that we have the very best sugaring product available. Now that we are confident, we can roll sugarings out to all markets in September. Sugaring is a thick golden glass-like syrup. It's made only from natural ingredients, sugar, water and sandalwood oil. Sugaring is available in 200ml black plastic jars and should be used in conjunction with the Body Shop spatula and cotton strips. The cotton strips come from our trade not aid source. Our experience in the UK has suggested that many customers have problems using sugarings, especially for the first time. With this in mind, let's just remind ourselves how we should use sugaring.
Sugaring is an unusual product, so before advising customers to buy it, it's vital that you ask them these few things. Have you ever used sugaring before or had your legs waxed? If the answer to this question is no, then you must pre-warn customers using the product for the first time that it may irritate or sting. However, do explain that it is meant to be less painful than waxing. Do you have pale or sensitive skin? If the answer to this question is yes, then you must inform your customers that it may cause reddening to pale or sensitive skin about 10 minutes after use. If you're unsure whether or not your customer has got pale or sensitive skin, then recommend them to do a small test on an area of their leg before using the product. It's also vital to inform customers when and where, for their own comfort and safety, sugaring should not be used. Do not use sugaring to remove hair from moles or from areas of the skin which are broken, sunburnt or have large varicose veins. Do not sunbathe or use a sunbed for at least 8 hours after use. The more the customer knows about the product before they buy it, the fewer complaints and returns there will be. So how do you use sugaring? Heat the solution in the pot with the lid on in a bowl of hot water for 15 to 20 minutes. Use at least 1000 ml or 2 pints of water, keeping the water hot until the sugaring is runny, like the consistency of runny honey and easy to spread. Always check the temperature of the sugaring before use, just to make sure it's not too hot, by placing a little on the inside of your wrist. To prepare the area of the skin for sugaring, wipe elderflower water on a cotton pad over the skin. This will remove excess oil and dirt. Leg hair should be about 1 centimetre long for sugaring to be most effective. Lightly shake talc onto the area and rub in well. This will absorb any excess oil and moisture and prevent the sugaring from sticking onto the skin. Using a palette knife, spread a thin strip of sugaring down the leg in the direction of the hair growth, one small area at a time. The thinner the layer, the more effective the sugaring is. Press a cotton strip firmly onto the sugaring. Hold the skin taut. Quickly pull the strip off against the direction of the hair growth and place a hand firmly on the area to soothe. Repeat this procedure over the whole leg. Wipe the legs with a damp towel to remove any traces of sugaring. Apply a freshener, then a soothing body lotion to moisturise and cool the skin. Either aloe gel or lotion are ideal. Wipe the neck of the jar clean so that next time you use it, it's easy to open. The cotton strips and palette knife can be washed by hand and used again. Because sugaring is water soluble, any spillages can be easily wiped up. Do not put the strips in the washing machine, as it will damage the cotton strips and may also damage the machine. When explaining the use of sugaring in a sales conversation, Don't forget to introduce and explain all of the tools which are needed for this product to be used correctly.
Skin Treat foundation is suitable for most skin types, but it's especially suitable for dry skin. It's a dry skin's dream in 4 ways. Firstly, there are moisturisers. It contains the natural emollient honey together with sodium hyaluronate and rosehip oil. Secondly, it contains AHAs, alpha hydroxy acids. These may sound scientific, but essentially they are acids derived from natural substances such as milk and citrus fruits. They help improve the texture of the skin and maintain the moisture level in the skin. And thirdly, with the growing link between sunlight and premature aging, Skin Treat foundation contains a sun protection factor of 8. And finally, there are light diffusers. Along the lines of lightning touch, the light diffusers soften fine lines and bring radiance to the skin.
For customers with dry skin, choosing and applying foundation can be difficult, with many products accentuating the dryness and making it look even worse. And that's why the introduction of Skin Treat is such a great addition to our range. Caroline's skin appears to be dry in that it has a slight flakiness to its surface, but throughout the day her skin can become shiny and oily looking. This is caused by artificial dehydration, where things like the weather, air conditioning and the environment can affect the surface of your skin. The great thing about Skin Treat is it smooths the surface of the skin and gets rid of that flakiness without making the skin appear even more oily. Begin by removing the hygiene seal, which is a plug, and advise your customers to do this very carefully. Once it's been removed, you don't need to reapply it. Dispose of it because the lid itself will keep the foundation in the bottle. This is purely for hygiene purposes. Because of its fluid formulation, it's actually easier if you apply Skin Treat directly to the sponge. That way you won't get the product over yourself and your customer. Work on one area of the face at a time, taking the sponge downwards and paying particular attention to the dry areas, making sure that you get a good coverage of foundation there. And while you're applying Skin Treat, don't forget to tell your customer some of its benefits. Obviously it's a great moisturising foundation, which is what makes it so good for dry skin. But don't forget about the AHAs, the SPF, and of course the light reflectors, which will add that wonderful radiance to the skin that you get when you've used Skin Treat. Complete the base with lightning touch, concealer and powder. But remember, where there are areas of particular dryness, only use a very, very small amount of powder.
Everyone would like their lipstick to last longer. Not only do our customers want their lipsticks to look great, they want them to stay that way. And one of our most frequently requested products is a lipstick sealant, something that you wanted us to develop and add to our range. Well, first of all, we looked at our competitors. We looked at what customers were already using, and we realised a couple of main points. And that was that most of our competitor products are using standard nail polish bottles with brushes that aren't really that ideal for applying the product. And also, they all contain a solvent. This makes them sting the lips, not very nice to use, and also makes them flammable. So taking all of these negatives into account, we set about developing a product that not only had you requested, but our customers would find more beneficial and easier to use than the competition. So we looked at the bottle, we changed it to plastic, which meant that it was lightweight and less easy to break. We specially developed the brush so it had an angled head and was easier to apply. But most importantly of all, not only from a customer usage point of view, but an environmental point of view, we took out solvent. So now our customers can use a lipstick sealer that doesn't sting their lips.
The Body Shop USA joined many other interested groups at a conference devoted to against animal testing. Here's Atlanta McElraith to tell us more about it.
I'm here today at the National Alliance for Animals Annual Animal Protection Symposium in Washington, D.C. There are over 700 delegates here today at the conference. They are campaigners and lobbyists and activists from all around the country. Some of the largest animal protection groups are here at the conference, along with a whole host of other local groups and activists and individuals from around the country who've come to learn more about the issues. The goals of the conference are to develop a common understanding of some of the key issues on the animal protection agenda and to develop a united and strategically focused campaigning program to push that animal protection agenda forward. Some of the key issues being discussed are the illegal trade in wild-caught primates that are being used for research. There are some lobbying and activist training workshops, in addition to some workshops on how to campaign to stop testing in the cosmetics industry. And that's why the Body Shop's here today. We're in full support of this conference and of this effort. We have donated some Body Shop product to conference delegates, and we've also brought Steve McIver, who is our head of campaigns and advocacy for the international company and our resident expert on animal protection. He's been invited to speak here, and he's addressing the conference on a number of occasions.
We're here at this event over the weekend to work with animal protection organisations on an issue that has been at the very heart of Body Shop's concerns since its inception in 1976. The fact is that the Body Shop has never tested its products or its raw materials on animals, and we ensure, of course, that ingredients have not been tested by our suppliers for at least 5 years. And the Body Shop continues today to be as committed as it has ever been to seeing an end to these cruel and unnecessary tests. So we believe that we will have a new agenda out of this meeting that will help us to move forward towards the day when legislation will ban the testing of these products on thousands of animals every year.
Well, it's really been a fantastic 3 days here at the NAA Symposium. The energy and the exchange between all of the delegates here has really been phenomenal. Steve's presentations were very well received, and we're looking forward as a company to build more on the relationships that we've been forming here to forward our own campaign against animal testing in the cosmetics industry. So if you'd like any more information on our against animal testing policies, please call Steve McIver over at Body Shop International.
Last month, we reported on the start of the Body Shop Australia's campaign to stop the French government's planned nuclear tests in the South Pacific. The campaign has been gathering momentum, and a tidal wave of popular opinion has swept across the country, and the press coverage has been worldwide. Australians are boycotting French products and protesting outside French consular buildings. The Body Shop in Australia and New Zealand and in Singapore have themselves removed from sale the range of goods that they source from France. On the postcard front, some 250,000 have now been sent to Jacques Chirac, the French president and the instigator of the resumption of tests. Other markets are also very much involved, and the number lending their support grows daily. Campaigning at present are the Body Shop Australia and New Zealand, Eastwick Trading, Japan, Singapore, Denmark, Norway, Ireland, Indonesia, the UK and Germany. There have also been protests from the body shops in France itself. We have also been campaigning through our internet site, urging people to send postcards. More news on the internet later in the programme. The horrific story of our campaign partner Greenpeace International's encounters with the French Navy whilst trying to prevent the impending tests has been broadcast worldwide. This in itself has galvanised public opinion and, more importantly, public action in protest at this and the policy of testing in general. Jessie Lane, who has just taken up a position in the Public Affairs Department at Watersmead, was on board the Greenpeace vessel SV Vega, engaged in a scientific survey for the organisation, when the row blew up. After rendezvousing with the Rainbow Warrior, she found herself in the thick of things when the French Navy decided to take action. Gavin Grant caught up with her when she came to Watersmead to give a talk to all the DEAs about her experiences.
At the time, I didn't really realise. It's only when you get back and you realise what a big issue it was over here. I mean, I realised it was very important, but sometimes very important issues don't get a lot of world attention. So it was only when I got back that I realised that we really had made a bit of an impact.
Did you get an impression that all of these people were completely committed to the bomb, or
No,
not?
absolutely not. Absolutely not. They're just doing their job. I mean, the French commando said that, this is a holiday for us. And it's just as well you came, otherwise we wouldn't have been sent over. It's great, we're in Tahiti. No, and then the gendarme, certainly not the Tahitian woman who's grown up there. She told me they're completely against the bomb, and everybody is. The point is they've never been asked whether they want it there. And of course they don't, because nobody does. And in Tahiti as well, seeing people genuinely pleased. That was the best thing.
Now you're back here, you see the Body Shop is campaigning on this issue around the world. Does that come as a surprise to you?
It's good to see. But I can't say I'm that surprised of the Body Shop, because I know that they're involved in those kind of campaigns. So, but it's good to see, very refreshing.
As support for the campaign grows around the world, we will keep you updated on its progress in upcoming editions of the programme.
Here's Sarah Tighe to tell us about the Body Shop's internet site. For the last 3 months, the Body Shop has been communicating its messages via the World Wide Web. And this month sees the launch of Body Language Issue 2 onto the internet. Internet, I hear you cry. What the hell is that? Well, imagine reading the news as it's being written. Imagine transferring a file from Hong Kong to California. Or even imagine corresponding with one of a billion computers all over the world at any one time, as easy as typing a letter on a word processor. Well, you don't have to imagine, because it's real. If you want to know anything, from the weather and best hotels in Prague to what garden plants you can plant in an Icelandic garden, it's all on the web. It's a whole warehouse full of information. You can use it for email, you can use it to transfer files, you can use it to have discussion groups on any number of subjects. There is no one person looking after the internet. And in fact, everybody pays for their share of the internet, and it seems to work very well. To set yourself up as an individual user, all you need is a computer, a modem, and a connection. And your time on the internet is usually the cost of a local call. But do remember, the cost of a local call that lasts for an hour can be very, very expensive. Well, what about the Body Shop on the internet? Well, the Body Shop is using the internet to communicate its products and values. Instead of using the internet just as a resource, we're providing a service. In issue 2 of Body Language, visitors can find the Body Shop's policy on environmental and animal protection, a global store locator, the Australian anti-nuclear testing campaign, Would They Do It in Paris? Anita always provides stories and speeches for each issue, written specifically this season on connecting with others, and her speeches on women in business and spirituality and service. To encourage further interaction with our visitors and give it a truly international feel, this issue will also include the Body Shop Greece recycling campaign,